Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Another webinar section. This is June edition of our webinar. You're all welcome. It's a monthly program that moves every last Friday of the month. Just sit tight as we get ready for this very interesting section. Very interesting section. So this is coming to us from Geophia Academy, where we take students for Nigerian exams, foreign exams, as well as computer courses, taking off from basic computer to Excel package, including digital marketing, video editing, graphic courses, UI UX, as well as cybersecurity, and including data analysis, and so many of them. So every month like this, we pick one of the courses and teach for free. And this is another important section where we'll be taking through with the introduction to Microsoft PowerPoint, basic knowledge that we just need to navigate. So beyond computer courses, we also help students that have been out of school for adult education courses that helps them to settle in and getting back to school again. We can do online classes as well as home section and also physical classes here in the office. We also help students to register for foreign exams from IELTS to TOEFL, GMAT, GRE, as well as SAT courses. Those are going to US programs, European courses, as well as UK schools. So sit tight even this evening as we take through with the basic courses, very important course, introduction to Microsoft PowerPoint. Microsoft PowerPoint. I make welcome this evening our facilitator, another person than Mr. Innocent, Mike. Welcome, Mr. Innocent.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of our PowerPoint, monthly webinar. Today, we are going to be looking at PowerPoint. For most of us on this call, we've used PowerPoint a lot. We use PowerPoint a lot. And because it's a tool we use almost every day, it becomes important to know how to navigate your way around PowerPoint. Today, we are going to learn about what PowerPoint is used for, what PowerPoint is, as well as where it can be used and how to use it. So, to get started, we'll look at the learning objectives for today. Today, we are going to be understanding what PowerPoint is. Then, we move to learning how to navigate the PowerPoint interface. We'll also learn how to create and save presentations in PowerPoint. Then we'll also learn how to add text, images, shapes, maybe icons to our PowerPoint presentation. We're also going to learn how to add animation, transition, and all that cool stuff you do, like what you are seeing right now. Then we'll learn how to deliver a slideshow or a presentation confidently. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the meat of this webinar. So get started quickly by looking at the different moving parts we have here. So firstly, we are going to learn about what PowerPoint is. So what is PowerPoint? PowerPoint is a standard presentation software developed by Microsoft. This is why it is called MS PowerPoint or Microsoft PowerPoint. So it allows users to create slide or slide-based visual presentations that combine text, images, charts, as well as multimedia. It is widely utilized in business, education, and professional settings to structure narratives, pitch ideas, and deliver engaging information. For example, without what you have on your screen, if you're only looking at my face, well, it will take a while for you to write what I'm saying. You would even forget some of the things I've said. But thanks to PowerPoint, some of the things I'm saying is on your screen for you to see. So this is the point where I'm going to say, if you're watching on your phone because your screen is too small, please, I think it will be better if you put the phone in landscape mode so you can get a better view of what you are doing. Because we are going to be doing some demonstrations, and this demonstration will we'll have to zoom out a little bit so you have a clear view of the whole software. We've said this before, we're just going to reiterate again. PowerPoint as a tool is very powerful, and it is used to communicate information in a structured and engaging way. Most of the times, PowerPoint. A lot of people use PowerPoint when it comes to maybe sales pitches. Someone wants you to come and convince them about a particular product or a particular idea. You present it in PowerPoint, right? Another one is for online classes in education. This is a webinar. It's happening online. So we're using PowerPoint to teach. One of the important aspects of PowerPoint. Meetings, most especially virtual meetings or hybrid meetings, where there are people physical and there are people online. You can use PowerPoint to communicate important information. So even if it's a physical meeting, a lot of things that you want to say with your mouth cannot be communicated effectively. But using a tool like PowerPoint, you can put the numbers down, you can put the graphics down, you can put the text down on PowerPoint and present that information in a very structured, detailed way. Finally, PowerPoint can also be used in conferences. This is synonymous to meetings, but in the case of a conference, there's a little bit of a difference. So these are the different places where you can utilize PowerPoint. Trust me, it's not limited to just these instances we mentioned. There are so many ways, so many scenarios where PowerPoint will come to play. All right. Now that we've talked about the basics to some extent, let's talk about something that's very, very important when you're dealing with PowerPoint. We also touched some of these things when we talked about MS Word as well as Microsoft Excel in the past two webinars we did. So please, this is more like a recap of some of those things. What am I talking about? We're talking about some of the interface you'll be seeing most of the time when you're working with PowerPoint. For the most part, you'll be spending working with PowerPoint. This is the part you'll be using a lot. This is the part of PowerPoint you'll be using a lot. Now, it's because of this I said, if your phone is on portrait mode, please make sure the phone is on landscape so you can get a better and a clearer view of what I'm showing in this presentation. So this is what you'll be using for the most part. Depending on the version of PowerPoint you are using, it may look a little bit different. Now, I'm using the latest version of PowerPoint, which is Microsoft 365. So this is the reason why mine is looking this way. If you're using an older version, it may look just a little bit different, but nothing too serious. Let's see 4 important parts of Microsoft PowerPoint we need to familiarize ourselves with. The first part is the top right side of the PowerPoint window. This is called the Quick Access Toolbar. The Quick Access Toolbar. What does that mean? Well, the Quick Access Toolbar contains important things that you do. You just want to quickly do it. For example, you are working on a PowerPoint presentation, you want to see how it looks like if the PowerPoint is being presented. You use this one here. This starts a slideshow. If you want to save your document, whatever it is you've done so far, this is another one. Now for saving, since I'm using Microsoft 365, it's expected I'm going to be working on the cloud. So because of that, I can click on this auto save. I can turn it on. Then now I don't need to remember to save. The moment I make any change to the document, the change is automatically sent to the cloud, which means it is saving in real time. I don't have to remember to save. That is the importance of this particular tool. So this top left-hand side of the PowerPoint interface is called the Quick Access Toolbar. Now, we move to the next part. This part is called the title bar. So basically what the title bar means is, what is this PowerPoint file or PowerPoint document called? So right now it is called presentation 1. All right. The one I'm using for this webinar, because all these things I'm showing you right now is still in my PowerPoint. The PowerPoint I'm using to communicate this information right now to you in real time, I named it PowerPoint webinar. So what does that mean? Anytime you are saving your PowerPoint document, save it in a way that communicates exactly what that document or what that file is doing. You can't call it presentation 1 because presentation 1 does not tell you anything about the document or what is contained in the document. So be descriptive in naming your PowerPoint file. Next, we move to this section. The blue highlighted on the screen is called the tabs. So we have the File tab, the Home tab, the Insert tab, the Draw tab, Design, on and on and on. And then finally, we have this part called the ribbon. So this part of PowerPoint is called the ribbon. And if you look at the ribbon, underneath the ribbon, we have some headings. What that means is if you are on the Home tab, the ribbon will appear. If you go to the Insert tab, the ribbon will appear, and what is contained inside the ribbon changes. It's not always the same. So if you're on Insert, most of the tools that will appear in the ribbon will be tools that helps you to insert one thing or the other into your PowerPoint. If you're on the Design tab, the content on the ribbon will also change. Why? Because the content on that ribbon is supposed to help you design. All right, so the tabs are named intuitively, and the moment you click on a tab, the content of the ribbon will change. And if you look at the content of the ribbon, they are grouped into different headings. For example, clipboard, things like copy and paste, and all of that, they are all under clipboard. If you see slides, if you want to insert a new slide, if you want to, let's say, insert a layout and all of that, it is under the slides category. Font, anything that has to do with your text, the look and feel of your text is categorized under font. You get the idea. So that is what I'm saying. The ribbon is divided into different groups, and the groups also have a label for it, like clipboard, slides, font, paragraph, etc. So this is the interface I want to show us today. Now let's move into the PowerPoint software itself and see what we can do today. Now, to work with PowerPoint, one of the important things we need to do is to open the PowerPoint software. So from your computer, all you need to do is to type the name of the software. Once you type the name of the software will be open for you to start working with. I'll come to this screen and then I'll type the name of the software, PowerPoint. And when I hit enter, I have to select it. This is what I get. Now I have a PowerPoint document open for me to start typing. By default, PowerPoint is going to give this file a name, a default name, and it starts with presentation, then followed by a number. For example, when I was showing us the interface of PowerPoint moments earlier, I said that file is called presentation 1. Now, if you look at the document I have here, this one is called presentation 2. All right, so this one is called presentation 2. If you see it here, this is it. It's called presentation 2. Now, oh, okay. Sorry, I was just notified what I was trying to show is what I was trying to share on the screen. It's not showing. All right, let me quickly readjust that. Okay. Oops. All right. So I guess you can see the content I was trying to share now. All right. So I was trying to show that this document here was opened. And the moment I opened the document, PowerPoint gave it a default name called presentation 2. Why is it called presentation 2? Well, this is the default name PowerPoint assigned to a default document. So if I open a new document to give it presentation 3, like that. But like I said, the name is not descriptive enough. So we have to change that name to communicate the kind of presentation we are trying to do in this document. And please, whenever I use the word document, it simply means file, right? The kind of presentation we are trying to achieve in this file. All right, so this is basically what your PowerPoint interface looks like. I don't have to go over what's on top because I guess we've already covered that part. So basically, this is the slides pane on the left-hand side. I'll quickly highlight that so we can see. Okay, so here, this section in red, let me just change it to, I think red is going to work better. All right, this box on the screen, this red box on the screen is the slides pane. This is where all our slides come in. All right, this is our slides pane. Now, with your PowerPoint, the first thing you have to do is you have to think about the kind of information you want to present. So let's assume this is the blank, of course, this is a blank PowerPoint presentation. We don't have anything on the screen, all right? First of all, you ask yourself, what are you trying to communicate in this presentation? The audience matters as well. Is it for children? Is it for adults? Is it for young adults? Is it for business? Think about it. And then the next thing you want to do is you have to choose a theme. When I talk about theme in this context, I mean the colors you want to use. This is not a rainbow context, right? So you want to choose maybe 2 or 3 colors at most, except maybe when it's for children. Now, if the presentation is targeted towards children, you may want to add a lot of colors because when it comes to children, colors are very, very important, right? But aside that, anything professional or anything made for adults, you don't want to add too many colors. You don't want to add too many colors. And I would say avoid colors that are very close to white. For example, yellow, because there are people with color blindness. They can't see some of those colors. They can't differentiate yellow from white. Now, once you think about a thing, what next? Then you proceed by designing the interface. Let's get started like we do here. One of the things we do here is every single time we are working, we are teaching any of these things, we try to use a practical example. And today is going to be one of those days as well. So first things first, your first slide should always be attractive. It should be catchy. Don't just put a white background and a black text on it, and then that's it. No. Try to use some kind of image. Try to use some kind of text. Try to blend some colors and make it look attractive. So from the beginning point, people are already invested in whatever it is you want to deliver. That is very, very important. All right, let's take a look. Now, the moment you open your PowerPoint, you see these things on the screen. And you ask, what is this? Right. First off, your PowerPoint presentation has different types of layouts because the way you want to present somebody's image is going to be different from the way you present that image and a couple of information about that person. The way you want to present tabulated information is different from how you want to present charts. So because of that, PowerPoint came up with a lot of layout that you can just choose from. And what we have on the screen right now is one of the layouts. Now, if you don't want to start with a layout, you can easily insert a different slide, a blank slide. Now, I said on the slides pane, which is on the left-hand side, this is where we see all our slides. And this is where we can organize our slide to match the way we want to tell our story, because presentation is storytelling, right? So right now we have just a single slide, which is what we have right now on the screen. What if I want to add another slide? Well, to add another slide, I can click on this new slide drop down and I can see different types of templates to choose from. You can see one called blank. This one here is called title slide. That simply means you're supposed to insert a title on top and then maybe a tagline or a subtitle at the bottom. That is why it is designed with 2 boxes, one on top, one below. This one here is called title and content, which means there's going to be a title on top and then there's content below. For example, I've used something like this earlier in my own PowerPoint for you to see. Now, we can't go over all of this. So let's just simply start by working with a blank slide. So I click on Insert New Blank Slide, like this. And then you can see the blank slide is now our slide number 2. Because each slide is going to have a number to the left. All right, so this is our first slide. This is our second slide. What if I want to make the blank slide my first slide? all I need to do is I select it, then I drag it up. The moment I drag it up, what it does is it is going to displace what is above it. Right, so the first slide on top will be displaced. That automatically becomes the second slide, and the one I'm dragging becomes the first slide. This is how we rearrange our slide. So when you're telling a story, it has to be sequential. So what happens if let's assume your slide number 2 is now in number 6. What do? You have to rearrange it. So if you either you drag it up or you drag it down to rearrange and reposition it where you want. So right now, our blank slide is now number 1. Then the title slide is now number 2. What if I don't want this title slide? I want to remove it. It's simple. You right-click on the slide you don't want, right-click, and then you see a lot of options. These options are called context menu. What is context menu? Simply saying option. All right, so you get a lot of options. Just look for the option that says delete. And now the title is gone. We are left with our blank. All right, so let's do a little bit of design just to make sure that our first slide is catchy. Because when the program is beginning, this is what you will see projected on the screen. For example, before you joined this meeting, I have a slide up, and that is my first slide. That tells you what this whole webinar is about. All right. So how do we do a little bit of design in this case? The way we do design is simple. This is a slide. So this is like, you are like an artist, and this is your canvas. So all you have to do is just draw. You just draw. All right. But we are not doing freehand drawing in this case. We are using already made shapes to do this drawing. Let's get started. The first thing I want us to know about PowerPoint is we can insert images. So let's say you have a cute image of yourself or an image you took from your office. I want to use that as a background for that first slide. You can bring it into PowerPoint and work with it however you want. But if you don't have an image, I want to get an image online, it's okay. If you're using Microsoft 365 like I am, you have access to these free images online for you to use. You don't even have to go online and download it and then bring it in. It is already contained inside PowerPoint. The only thing is you need internet to be able to access it. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to insert an image here. So what do? From the tabs menu on top, that tells me that, what that tells me is I need to go to the Insert tab. Why? Because I want to bring in an image into my PowerPoint. So I move to the Insert tab, and from this Insert tab, I go under Pictures. So you can see on this ribbon, you have images. So this handles everything about images. If you want to take a screenshot of your PowerPoint, it will do that for you. If you want to create a photo album, it will do that for you. If you want to insert pictures, it will do that for you as well. So we click on this drop down on pictures. Then from here, we have different options. Do you want to insert this picture from your device? Do you want to insert it from stock images? Now, stock images are images that are not from you. They are images on the internet that are royalty free, which means if you use them, you're not going to get any kind of copyright issues. These are stock images. We also have brand images. We also have online pictures. So these online pictures, you just put in the URL of the image and then it gets it for you. But I want us to experiment with two options. This device and stock images. So this device, meaning I want to get the image from my computer. So I click on this device, and just like that, it opens my File Explorer. And then from my File Explorer, I can get a cute picture of myself and insert it, but we're not going to work with this. So let's use the second option. We go to the Insert tab again, drop down from the pictures, and then we say Stock Images. So from these stock images, what you have to do here now is you put in the kind of image you are looking for. And Microsoft is going to suggest different types of images for you. So it is up to you to select the kind of image you want. Now, because we are here, I'll just quickly select a random picture. So I'm going to choose this picture of a mother and a daughter. Then I click on insert. It will reach to the internet, download the picture, and insert it into my slide. It's that simple. So now that I have this image on the slide, I have a little bit of a problem. The problem is this image is not wide enough to cover the entire slide. Meaning, if I begin to do my PowerPoint presentation, you see, we have white edges on both the left-hand side and the right-hand side. And this is not what I want. Please, I don't know if you can see that image I'm trying to project. All right, so you see, we have this white space, left and right, and I don't want it. So what do? Well, the only thing I can do right now is to readjust the image. So with PowerPoint, it's easy for you to make these adjustments. Very easy for you to make these adjustments. I'm going to end the slide. I will end the slide. Then I'll make the readjustment. So I select the image. How do you select it? Just click on what you want to readjust. Two ways you can do it. Either you expand it like this from here and here to cover the entire screen. But I don't like doing it this way because by doing it this way, you are distorting the image. So it's as if the image is drooling, right? I don't want to do that. What I prefer to do is I prefer to take it from the sides. For example, top right, top left, bottom right, bottom left. The edges, instead of taking it from left, right, top, bottom, I prefer to do it from the top right, top left, bottom right. And when you do it like this, the image is not distorted. So if you shift it 50 pixels from this end, it is going to shift 50 pixels from all the end, thereby maintaining the aspect ratio of the image. So this is the best way of resizing images. So you don't have images where the head is longer or wider than it should. So I've adjusted it on this end. I scroll to the bottom and I also adjust on this end. So let's try to see this image one more time. I click on the slideshow, and here you have the image covering the entire screen. This looks good. Now, how do I write on this image? If I write on this image, I don't think anybody can see what is on the image. So what I want to do is, instead of presenting this image like this, I want to put something on the image to reduce the intensity of the image. How do I do it? Still, I go under insert because I want to insert a shape. Insert. If you look at your ribbons, one of these is shapes. So I click on the drop down, you can see we have different types of shapes you can choose from. But the one I want to use is a rectangle. So I click on the rectangle. Now, if you click on the rectangle, you see this plus, your cursor, your mouse becomes a plus. That means if you click and you drag, you can now draw a rectangle. Very simple. All right. Now, I want to make this rectangle cover the entire image, but we have a little bit of a problem. The image is bigger than the slide itself. So left, right, the same size, but top, bottom, the image is longer than the height of the image. So to stop this, what I want to do now is simple. I want to now crop the image. That means I want to throw some part of the image away. The part I don't want, I want to let it go. How do I do that? Once you insert an image and you click on the image, if you look at the tabs on top, you will see, I want to quickly highlight this so we can all see. So I want to zoom in a little. All right. So now that we are here, on the tabs, you see another tab item appear here called picture format. With this picture format, what it does is it simply says this it simply says this image you have inserted, this gives you option to insert, to format or edit the image you have inserted. There are so many options there. We'll just look at the basics. So click on format picture. Then to the right-hand side, there's an option for crop. So to crop is to take out unwanted part of the image. So I click on it, and then I get these shapes. I can drag from the top until I get to the edge of the slide. I drag from the bottom till I get to the edge of the slide. I can try from my left, make sure everything is wedged firmly to the edge of my slide, meaning this part, this gray part on top, this gray part at the bottom, this little part here on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, they are all the unwanted parts. One other thing I can also do is to resize the image within the frame I have chosen to make sure I get all the important parts, and then I just hit the enter key. And now the image has been cropped. Now that we have this, we can now insert that shape. Also, to make sure that the shape is the same size as the slide, like this, like this. We are covering the picture. So how can we see through it? Well, from here, because this is a shape, if you look, there's another option that appears here that is called shape format. That means we can edit this shape. What do I do here? From this drop down, you see shape fill. What color do you want the shape to be? I want to choose this blue color. This shape also has a border around it, which is called shape outline. I don't want it, so I'm going to choose no outline. We still can't see the image. Yes. Final thing is, if we go under design, we have format background. So I click on it, and now we have an option here for transparency. Right, we have option here for transparency. But before you do anything, you must first of all make sure what you want to edit, you have it selected. If it's not selected, you can't do anything to it. So here, if I reduce the opacity, you see that our image is now showing through the shape. It's showing through the shape. So the image, the shape is no longer completely opaque. It's not transparent, and we can see the image through it. And from here, you can change the color to whatever you want, and it's still going to look good regardless. So when it comes to this transparency, you have to be very careful and make sure you choose something that works for you. Let's present this one more time. And here, quickly, let's add a title. Let's put text on this presentation, either from the home key, either from the home tab or from the insert tab. There is a tool here called text box. That simply means you want to write. So you click on the text box and you just click on your PowerPoint slide. Either you click or you can drag, and then it gives you option to type your text. I'm going to call this text PowerPoint webinar. So now I have my PowerPoint webinar typed out. What can I do next? Well, this text is black. I can barely read it. I want to change the color. So still from the home tab, under font. Remember I said, if you want to do anything about font, it is from the home, it is from the font tab. And the font tab is in the Home tab. So I click on this drop down and I choose white. Apart from that, this text is too small. I want to make it bigger. So what do? I select the text again and I make sure from this drop down, I choose a bigger font size. Then I can also increase the size of the bounding box around my text, which makes it wider. Center the text like this. And then finally, I want to make the text bold because I want it to stand out. So what do? I click on this place here, B, makes it bold like this. So there we have it. Because it's a presentation, I want to change this color. I want it to stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to choose my own color. That's not the color. I want to choose more color. All right. So I can choose my own shade of blue. Okay, let's leave it like this. All right. So here we have it. We can move the text around and position it anywhere we want. From here, I'm going to insert another rectangle. So insert, shape, rectangle. I'll just put that rectangle here. And then I also want to change the color of the rectangle. I want to make it white so it's visible. I also want to hide the outline like this. Position it here. Just a couple of things, and then we are done with this slide. Next, I want to insert a circle. So I click on Insert Shape. From the shape, I'm going to choose this oval shape, and I'm going to create a circle here, drop it here, make it white, the fill color of white, remove the outline. It's that simple. I take another shape. Now, one other thing is this. Let's assume I want to use another circle, but I don't want to create another circle. All I just need to do is to duplicate this current circle by hitting Ctrl D, and that creates a duplicate of this. I'll make it smaller. So this shape is going to be a little bit smaller. Drop it here. Let's say our presentation up to this point, and this is what we have. You see how using basic shapes and text, images, we've been able to create a good looking introductory page to our presentation. It's just that simple. There is nothing difficult about this, but of course you need practice, you need a lot of practice to be able to work with this. Finally, what I want to do now is to add just a bit of a text on this. So that definition of a PowerPoint, I'm going to copy just part of it. I want to put another text under this heading. So I click on Insert, Text Box, drag, and then paste the text I have copied, change the color to white, and then position it wherever I want, like this. And this is how simple it is to create your beginning slide. Please, while we're at it, if there's any question, you can leave it in the chat. While we're at it, if there's any question, you can leave it in the chat. So this makes for your first slide. Very simple, straight to the point. There's nothing too much going on, just some things on the screen to make it look welcoming. Once you are done with the first one, you can now insert a new slide. How to do that? Either you right click here and say new slide, very simple, or the option we used earlier, from this drop down, you select blank slide, or you can choose any of these already made templates. I like working with blank slides, so I'm going to insert a new blank slide. So you can see the blank slide appears directly underneath the first one. If I want to add another one again, click blank slide. There's another blank slide. So I move to the second slide. Here, I want to do something simple, very simple. So this is not going to take a lot of time. From this slide, I'm going to half this slide in two. One side is going to be white. The second side is going to be the same color we have worked with. So insert, shapes. I click on the rectangle again. So this creates what? Another rectangle. But I want this rectangle to start from the beginning to the end, and I want it to take half of the slide like this. But if you check what we are doing so far, this slide has this shade of blue. This slide has a different color. This is what I mean by theme. Anytime you are creating a slide, either you choose one color, two color, three color, and make sure that the entire slide is consistent. All right, instead of choosing different types of slides, different types of colors, just choose 2, 3 at most, and then make sure it has the same color. All right, I'm going to change the color of this slide. So shape format, I'm going to go to my shape fill, which is the color I want to put inside, and I'm going to choose this color again. Click on it. Again, I'm going to remove the outline. What do I want to do here? Very simple. I'm going to put another text box. That is something like this. Table of content. Make it bigger. Increase the font size. So basically what we are doing is repetition of some of the things we've done before. Increase the font size, make the text white. I can decide to copy this small rectangle from here and paste it here, position it where I want, like this. So what's the table of content? Well, the table of content can now appear on the right-hand side. But the problem is this, because the background here is white, my text cannot be white, right? Now let's copy this text. I don't want to keep doing that insert, so I just want to do copy and paste, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and then I move this text and I move it this way. But this text cannot be white because I can't read it. So I want to change the text to this shade of blue. So this is the table of content. So if you look at this design, I'm just using blue and white throughout. Wherever I have blue, I write with white color. Where I have white background, I write with blue color so that it stands out. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Table of content. I can say number 1, will be, let's say, overview of the agenda. Is number 1. Now I have number 1. I can have number 2, 3, number 2, number 3, and number 4. And I can even select all of these things and make sure it is positioned in the middle like this. So this is going to be my number 2, my number 3, my number 4, and then you can fill in the blanks here. Item 1, item 2, and item 3. Let's present this and see how it looks. Very simple, straight to the point, and it is consistent with the previous page like this. Very simple and consistent. You see, So this is how simple it is to create PowerPoint slides. One final slide, and then we'll quickly touch on transition, and then that will be the end. One of the things I like to do is, when I have this kind of presentation, I like a situation where you can have a title and content template. So the title is going to be on top, and then the bottom is where you want to put the content. Just like I did with the definition of what is Microsoft PowerPoint. So let's quickly do that. The same thing I did before, insert shape. I can insert a rectangle on top. Now, the size of this rectangle is totally up to you. Then I'm going to choose the same color, remove the outline. This is going to have a text that says, for example, what is PowerPoint with a question mark. Select the text, make the text a bit larger. So basically, this is the title. The content now is going to appear here. And what did we do with the definition? We just simply took a text and we pasted it here, also making sure that it also stands out. And you can adjust this text box to fit the size you want. And just like that, we have PowerPoint slides that are looking exactly the same. No one is having yellow color, blue color, and different color makeup. We've not done anything too special. It's just this simple. So to wrap up, I just want to quickly touch on transitions and animations. What is transition? Transition can only be applied on slides. For example, if I'm moving from the open slide to the table of contents slide, how do I want it to appear? Let's take an example of what we have currently. If I start this presentation and I click on next, bam, I click on it again very quickly. What it does is it just swipe out and then the new slide comes in. But we want to add a little bit of fun to it. Instead of it to just come instantly, we want to add a little bit of fun to it. This is where transition coming in. It's like saying, as you're moving from this slide to this slide, I want you to appear like this. That is what transitions are for. So transitions only apply to slides. We have 3 slides currently. So what do? I click on the first slide, and then from my tabs here, I go to the transitions tab. Currently, if you look here, what we have right now is none, meaning there is no transition at all. If we click on the first one here called morph, it's going to give you an example of how that transition will work. So which means the moment we start this slide, it will appear like this. We have another called fade. It's going to just fade. We have push up, and it's going to appear like this. Split is going to appear like this. We have drip. It's going to come like your wind dripping from the top. All right. Flash. There are so many of them, basically. There are so many of them. You just pick something that is not too outrageous. Because when you have too many transitions, it becomes difficult to follow. All right. So simple transitions should do. So in this case, I'm just going to use this push that moves from the up down. I choose my second slide, then I choose a different kind of transition. I click on morph. I click on the third slide, which is the last slide. Then I choose again another type of transition. And once I add this, we see we walk through it from the beginning to the end. And then I'll quickly touch on animation, and then you can ask your question. So while we're at it, please leave your question in the chat. All right, so now we are on the third and the last slide. So how do I want this to appear? We have different options, actually. We have so many options. All right, but I keep it simple. So I'm still going to go with the morph. Just play with it and see if it works for you. If you like the way it looks, then that's fine. But don't add outrageous transitions. For example, this one that looks like an airplane, like this. For me, that's too outrageous. But different strokes for different folks. So it's up to you to choose what you want. But I want you to put your audience in mind. Is it going to interest them or is it going to look boring to them? That's what is important. So based on that summation, you can now decide how to apply your slide. All right, I'm still going to go with the morph. All right, let's go back to the beginning and then start this transition. To start a slideshow or to present, there's a shortcut you use. You can hit from the beginning, you can hit the F5 key on your keyboard. Or if you come to the bottom right corner of your PowerPoint interface, there is an icon there. The moment you hover on it, it says slideshow. That is what I'm hovering at the bottom here. Click on it and it will start your presentation from the beginning. So you saw the way this came in. That is the transition that was applied. Push, and it pushed it from the bottom upward. Then we move to the next one, which is morph. You click on it, and this is how the morph appears. Then finally, the last one. This one is also morph, and you see how it appears. All right. Before I start answering your question, let's talk on animation. We said transitions apply to the individual slides. Animation, on the other end, applies to items in the slide. For example, on the first slide, we have this circle here. This is a circle on top of it. I can zoom back out now. All right, so we have this circle. We have this one as well. We have this rectangle. Instead of this rectangle just appearing with the text and the circle, how about we want the rectangle to do some dance while coming in. This is when we put animation. So after, on your tab, after the transition tab is the animations tab. And just like transitions, we have so many animations that you can apply or you can choose from. We have so many of them. So we have different types of animations. For example, it can be fading animation, it can be a reveal. We have so many of them. Let's try this one here. We click on it. And once we do that, let's try to present this slideshow one more time. We click on it. When it comes in, we don't see the rectangle until we click on a button, and then the rectangle appears. You see, the rectangle is being animated into the slide. This is how animation works. Somebody will say, I don't want to now click on a button before the rectangle show. Well, if you do advanced PowerPoint, there's also a way you can say you want this to come while the slide is coming into focus. All right, so this is how animation works. So animation apply or work only on items within a slide, whereas transition is moving from one slide to the other. Whatever you want to happen in between that movement, that is where you bring in your transition. That's where you bring in your transition. All right, let's quickly answer some questions. And then we can end it here very quickly. If you have a question, please leave it in the chat and then we'll wrap for the day. While we are waiting for the question, maybe I can just quickly demonstrate how to bring in your animation with your slide. Instead of you clicking on a button before the item is animated, you can just bring it in with the slide. To do that, under animation on the right hand side, we have there's an option there that says trigger. So trigger simply means when do you want this animation to happen? By default, the animation, it says on click of. That means do you have to click on something before it works? Good. That is what the trigger means. So right now, the animation will only start when we click. When we click, we have the option for with previous. Let's click on with previous and let's present it one more time. Can you see? I don't have to click on anything. I don't have to click on anything. The moment the slide came into focus, the animation automatically happened without me having to do anything. Let's animate this circle at the bottom. I click on it. Then I want to choose a different one. So let's try this grow and turn. I click on it and you see the way it starts small, then it grows. All right, I click on it as well. And then I want to say with previous. So let's animate it one more time. We click and you see, while the rectangle is animating into frame, the circle is also growing from that initial smaller size to the original size. And this is how simple it is to animate. By the way, you can also animate your text as well. You can also animate your text as well. But that will take just selecting the way you want the text to appear. So final presentation for the start slide, click, and we don't see the text. Why? Because it will only appear once we click. You see? So always make sure anytime you don't want your text to, or you don't want your animation to happen, only when you click, you want to make sure that instead of saying start on click, change it to previous. And then the moment you start your presentation like this, everything is automatically animated at the same time. All right, let's see the chat. All right, there's no question in the chat. Over to you, Madam. While she's answering the while she's talking to you, I'll just keep my eye on the chat. If there's any question, I'll quickly come up and answer before we wrap up.
Thank you, Mr. Innocent. It's been a very exciting section, and I believe many of us that started from the beginning would have really had a good time. This is coming to us from Geophia Academy. Like we said, this program holds the last Friday of every month. We pick one of our courses. Here we cover computer courses from basic computer to tech world, including web development courses, front end, back end, digital marketing, UI, UX, cybersecurity, data analysis, graphics, video editing, so many courses within computer courses. And in Geophia Academy, we prepare students for different exams, from Nigerian-based exams, WAEC, JAM, GCE, NECO, to foreign exams, including IELTS, TOEFL, GMAT, GRE, and you can see it can happen online. It can as well happen physically, as well as home section. So at every location you are in any part of the world, you can pick up these courses. Also help students that are out of school for a very long time. You can actually return back to school, which is our program in Geophia that we call adult education courses. You can pick up at any point in time. So it's so important that we gather ourselves and return back to school, from computer courses to basic academic programs. We also help students to register for any of those exams. Any of those exams, you can register any of them from anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world. And also help students for NYC registration. Online registration programs also goes on in Geophia. So just sit tight, and like I mentioned, this program holds every last Friday of the month, and it's also live on YouTube right now. If anyone you didn't understand, you can get back to the YouTube. We'll also share the link as well to our WhatsApp groups. You get into the YouTube, type Geophia Academy YouTube page. You will be able to see even other courses that we have had over the months. You can watch and learn and spend some time on your own. Also, we're coming up with online courses. Online courses. We've been on for a while and will soon be out. So just sit tight, and as we tidy up, this is a program that happens every month. When you get the link, you can as well share to friends around. It's a free webinar. There's no payment to it. If you're not registered for the course, please do well to register. That will help us to always have access to send the link to you. Some of us, we got it from another platform. For you to get it directly, just fill the form or send a mass message in right now. Drop your phone number. We can easily add you to the group so that you can always get updates for the next course. Next month, again, the last Friday of July, we'll also have this section just for 4 p.m. Just sit tight as we tidy up. If you have more questions, send in. And we are here even after the meeting. If you have more questions, you are still free to ask. Thank you so much for joining us. Many of us joining out of Lagos, within Lagos, even outside the country. Thank you, and God bless you. Mr. Innocent.
All right, thank you, ma'am. So just a couple of minutes, if there are questions, you can just quickly ask those questions, and then we'll be done for the day. If there's any question, something you are not sure of, you want us to quickly touch on that, please, you can ask before we wrap. All right, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for that. Okay, JC Praise Foundation. They're asking that you need a video editor for your media content. If Geophia can assist, yes, sir. We do video editing and all of those as well. So just reach out to us after this, and then all right. Thank you so much for being here with me. See by end of next month. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for those on the crew. Thank you, everyone. See you next month. So, Praise Foundation, you can get back to us through the platform. I think I can remember where you're coming from. The YouTube link is also there. Okay, so I will send the link shortly. But if you type Geophia Academy, you can as well get it back. But I will send the link. I'll send the link shortly. Thank you.